It's big dog season. And you can't stay still because you want it. Talk that talk, George. You still scraping your plate because you're hungry. Talk that talk.
Today is Wednesday. It's August 28th, the year is 2024. A lot of bugs out here. I decided to come out here and try to do a video this morning. It's a little bit hotter than usual. It's already 10 o'clock in the morning. It's hot out here. It's going to be a hot day today. I got into a disagreement with a friend of mine who, I don't know. I can't figure out. I keep having these conversations with these associates that I know, black men who are voting Republican, they voting for Trump. And one of them finally disclosed his reasons for voting for Trump. We were having a conversation. He said, I really don't tell nobody, who I vote for, but I knew he voted for Kemp, where he would for governor. But he said he ran down a list of reasons why he does not vote. He don't want to support Ms. Harris, our Democratic Party. He said, first off, the Democrats are very anti-family. They destroy the family. And he said some other stuff. He said he's not for abortion. I said, okay. And a few other things. But in that conversation, he said something that he felt that transgender was another issue he had a problem with, and that there was an agenda to push gays and transgender. Now, he had mentioned something like this in previous conversations, but this time he went into details. I said, okay. So I laughed. And I was like, I just chuckled because I thought this was funny to me because, it's an agenda. I'm thinking, okay, here we go with this ignorant mess. So this angered him because I laughed. I didn't say anything. I just kind of chuckled because I thought it was funny. Because now the truth is coming out that you are who you are. I don't have nothing against transgender people. Listen, y'all, I'm a black gay man. What you do and what clothing you wear and how you live your life ain't got shit to do with me. I mind my business. I've always mind my business. If you don't want to have an abortion, then don't have one. But I don't think I have a right as a black gay man to tell somebody who they can and cannot do, what they can and cannot do when it comes to abortion. Women have to make that decision. That's their lives. Women and the partners that they're with, the husband, wives, whoever's in part of that thought-making progress. It's not for me to make a decision that there are various reasons why a woman may want an abortion, and I think they should have that right to make that decision. I'm not for or against it. That's nothing to do with me. It's for them women. They have a right to make the decision. I should not be able to take that right. No man should be able to take that right away from a woman's decision, what she wants to do with her life, unless you married to that woman, or y'all, if you're not married, you ain't got no right to say any damn thing. But this is another one of those guys that has been through some bad divorces, bad relationships, bad this, bad that, child support payments, back and forth to court, family court, all this battling and stuff. But one thing that struck me about this conversation is when he went in on gays and transgender, and it clicked in my head. This man think his son is gay. And I put you put pieces of the puzzle together. And I've seen pictures of his son on the internet. I mean, I've never met him in person. I just see the pictures, I've seen the videos, I've seen the stuff. And I kind of looked at so his son might be gay. In my head, never said, this is the first time I ever said it aloud to anyone. I'm really not talking about it but myself sitting here, unless you want to consider these spiders over here I'm talking to, a bunch of spiders running around here. And I think this has had an impact on his decision about gay people. I always find that when it comes to men having a problem with gays or transgender, two things are happening. Either that person is gay or transgender or having some issues with their sexuality, or they suspect their child is either gay or transgender, whether it be a man, whether it's a girl or boy. They have a suspicion that their child might be having sexuality issues. And that tends to push them, either or on one side of the fence. But anyway, we were arguing about that. But anyway, that's just his thing. I could never. I personally could never vote for a Republican. I've looked at the Republicans over the years. They're too hateful for me. Their hearts are just filled with too much hate. Their hearts are filled with too much hate. There's so much confusion. I don't see anything positive in any of these Republican candidates. I could never vote for Donald Trump. Too much confusion with Donald Trump. Too much confusion. Republicans don't know how to mind their own damn business and worry about their own lives. They should be trying to tell everybody else how to live their lives, but their lives are just totally fucked up. Totally fucked up. That's why I don't particularly care for the Christian religion, because them Christians running around here pretending like they're the best things on planet Earth, but they're running around here doing all the most craziest shit you ever saw in your entire life. You know, I don't particularly care. That whole Christian Republican nonsense is ridiculous. They pretend like they're angels, and they are far from being angels. You better believe that. And a lot of these guys, these Republicans, have been directly involved in the abortion of their own children. Now they're anti-abortion. Figure that one out. But anyway, you know, as I was having this conversation with my associate about this stuff, we were discussing cities, and he blames the Democrats for all this bad stuff going on in these cities. And he grew up somewhere in South Georgia. I grew up in Gary, Indiana. Y'all, I remember when Gary was a beautiful city. I remember when Gary had great schools. It was a beautiful city, clean streets. I remember when Gary was very nice and well maintained. But also, I'm very familiar with what the state of Indiana did to destroy Gary, Indiana, by building the city of Maryville so close to Gary, and knowing that Maryville would drain all the resources of Gary to Maryville, the banks, the businesses, all that shit was drained up out of there. And to Maryville. And for years, what was a thriving downtown in Gary, Indiana, was now just vacant buildings that, in many instances, the owners didn't even want to rent the buildings out to new owners, to new businesses. So the new Mayor Hatcher, like the mayor of Detroit and Cleveland, faced the same issue. White flight took all the resources and the free funds and money out of the city, making these cities turn into financial nightmares. They didn't have the resources to do the stuff that they could have done, but they couldn't rebuild the downtown because the buildings were owned by people who didn't want to sell the buildings or rent the buildings to anybody else. The buildings just sat there and decayed. That's what happened in Gary. So, when you vote Republican, when you vote for these evil white people who don't like your black ass, who have done some of the most deceitful things to harm black people over the years, and you know, as I'm talking to this fool, and he's making all these comments about these Republicans, and I'm thinking, nigga, you think Republicans want you to have a happy family? They didn't do everything in their power to make sure that your family life is not happy. I'm going to go in this house. It's damn hot out here, y'all. I'm at to move this indoors from the sun that came out. It was hot as hell. I'm like, ooh, Lord have mercy. I'll go back in this air conditioner. It's nice and cool in here. Ooh, close that door. I was trying to do something out there. That ain't happening. Coming up better. Oh, heaven. Yeah, those Republicans, they have done a lot of deceitful stuff to harm black people. And then these niggas want to vote for them because, yeah, they against transgender people. And so as I was talking to that fool, you know, I don't even know why I was having a conversation with him. But I was talking to that fool, and I had to ask him, did you know anybody who's transgender? Have you ever had a conversation? Because, see, I know some people who have transitioned. I know quite a few people who have transitioned who are transgender. I know quite a few people who are. So, my whole thing is... Since I know people who are transgender, and I know that was not an easy task for them to transition. I know that shit wasn't easy. I know that shit was easy. It was coffee cold. I know people who were transgender, who are transgender, and when they transitioned, that wasn't something that was easy. That wasn't something they woke up and decided they wanted to do. I just thought that was odd to say. Well, there's an agenda. Is what he said. There's an agenda. The Democrats got an agenda for transgender. I said, what, are you trying to say that they making people transgender? Nobody can make you transgender. Nobody can make you gay. Child, y'all realize I knew I was gay in 1974? When I was a little kid? Good Lord. I was in preschool when I knew something was different. I said, something ain't right here. My goodness. Kids know, people know who they are at a certain age. I knew back then. So that's why I'm like, no, there was no agenda going on. Where did I get, come wait. There's an agenda. Hold on, don't drop this damn coffee. There's an agenda. They got an agenda. There's another thing too. Everybody I know who's supporting voting for these Republicans, they flat ass broke. They got all kinds of financial issues. They miserable. They just miserable people. Miserable. Do you think voting Republicans going to change your misery? Is that going to change the scenario and make things better for you? Your life is fucked. You did it to your damn self. Shit. Every nigga I know that got all his child support payments out the air say, I'm voting Republican. That's not going to change your child support payment. You think the Republicans going to cancel your child support payment? They the ones that want you niggas to take care of your children you went out and had. That's better. It's nice and cool in here. But nice and cool. Coffee's good. You have to wonder about these damn niggas. It amazed me. Gary was a beautiful city. Gary, Detroit. I remember going to Detroit as a little kid. Detroit was so beautiful. We had cousins that lived in Detroit. All those cities we went to Cleveland, Gary. We had family. They were beautiful cities. But the white folks made sure that shit did not last. A lot of black people blame black people for what happened to Gary, Cleveland, and Detroit. But you got to look deeper. All these black urban cities became hellholes because of the states that they were in. Most of them were Republican-run states. And what they did to harm these cities. See, Indiana was a Republican-run state, always has been. And at that time, they had a governor in there. When Gary got his first black mayor, y'all seem to think these white folks was happy. Oh, Gary got a black mayor. No, they weren't, honey. Y'all can't be that ignorant. Y'all can't be that ignorant to realize that them white folks were very against these black mayors from the minute they took their office. They started working in behind the scenes to make sure they would have no success in those cities. They made sure of that. We cannot live in a fantasy world about how these white folks, white flight, what took place right after Martin Luther King was shot and killed, the civil rights movement, what it did to this country. Y'all can't be naive about this. There are black cities that took place in my lifetime that these white folks purposely set out to destroy. I was born in 1970. I lived in Gary. I know what Gary was like. I know what these black cities were like. And they were all start off great at first. And then the white folks destroyed everything. They said, no, you niggas ain't gonna be living like this next to us. Oh no. We ain't having this shit. But see, the history book's not going to tell you this. You got to go dig deep to find out what took place, what happened in these cities. Y'all think these white folks are all friends. Y'all think these crackers care about your black asses. It's just ridiculous. Honey, the encounters I've had with white people in my lifetime, I can't stand their asses. The encounters I've had with white people have been astonishing to me. That's why I tend to keep my distance. I ain't got nothing against white folks. They got something against my black ass, so I keep my distance from them crackers. But I noticed a lot of black people, they love white people. They love them. You know, well, you can love them, you can have them, you can lay next to them wherever you want to. I don't give a fuck. I don't have to be bothered with their asses. Yeah, I say hello, you can go in the house and close my damn door and slam. I want to live someplace on land, 10, 15, 20 acres with a mile-long driveway so nobody can put gates and electricity running through to keep you motherfuckers away from me. Especially you white demons. White people smile in your face, but they don't mean you no good. And every black person I know these voting for these Republicans, they're the most Uncle Tom Negroes I've ever met. This is just amazing to me. And then they broke. They ain't got shit. All these people I know voting Republican, broker than broke, they ain't got shit. I have yet met a well-to-do black man who is voting Republican. Not one. Not one. They all got some type of financial situation going on that ain't good. And they blame the Democrats. The Democrats did this to me. No, nigga, you did it to your damn self. These niggas ever look in the mirror and take blame? Be responsible for their lives? No, they don't do that. But anyway, I thought about this damn argument I had with this man. I've known this man for years, but the more you know people, but see, I see why over the years, he had that boy out of wedlock. I knew that was going to be a problem. He fell out with the baby mama. They got into it. Well, you know, because they obviously, according to him, he was just fucking his woman. They didn't have a relationship. They were just having sex. And well, if you fucking a woman and you're not using birth control or a condom, well, what happens? Well, that's what happens. She ended up pregnant. And she decided, well, I'm keeping the baby. That's fine. He was fine with that. I guess he said, I don't know what his thoughts were on abortion at that time. This was back in 2009, 2010. They decided to have a baby. But I remember warning him. I said, ooh, you're not married to that woman. This is going to be a tough one. Because he was like, why you say? I said, okay, you going to marry this woman? They didn't get married. Might have been a good thing. I don't know. But their relationship was rocky after that. From the day that baby was born, they have had problems. Because he ended the relationship with her. They were never in a relationship to begin with. They were just having sex. And she ended up pregnant. I guess she was going to kind of force him into a relationship. And he didn't want that at that time. He was still busy out there doing whatever he wanted to do. Being the family man. So he claims. Now, this is the man that say the Democrats are anti-family, but you didn't knock up this woman that you were not married to and you did marry her. Then y'all battled for years back and forth in court over to try to they didn't spend so much money. He said he spent over $40,000 in attorney's fees battling back and forth for her over court, over various issues. But he is a staunch Republican now. I get it. I guess I get it. Instead of looking in the mirror and being responsible for your own actions, you blame the Democratic problems. In the black community, of course, you got to blame them too. You out there fucking without a condom and then got this woman pregnant. But anyway, I could never vote Republican because they just too devious for me. And another, y'all, and this is what's alarming to me about this election. Donald Trump should even be on the table. Donald Trump has showed us, the entire world, who he really is. And y'all still don't believe him. He has shown you who he is and his actions that led up to January 6th. And y'all still don't believe him? Y'all don't believe him for some odd reason. That is just the craziest shit to me. Y'all don't believe Donald Trump. He done showed y'all who he is. The Republicans have laid out everything. They telling y'all who they are. and y'all don't believe them. Okay. I really don't give a fuck about that shit no more, honey. But I just thought this was a very interesting conversation, that there's an agenda for transgender people. Nobody can make you gay. Nobody can make you transgender. What agenda is it? The agenda is let these people live their lives and be happy. Something wrong with that? Back in the day, I can remember doing the civil rights movement. There's an agenda. I can hear them white folks now. There's an agenda for black people. That's the agenda. And who knew niggas would be next to the ones saying this agenda, and they want to go after folks. To let people live their lives and be happy. I can't make you gay. Nobody made me gay. There was no agenda that made Walter Hampton gay. You all, if you think like that, you are ignorant as fucking hell. And I know there's a whole lot of ignorant people out there. That's why I don't allow you ignorant niggas into my house. I've gotten so strict about the people I want around me. I had to block this boy, y'all. We've known each other for years. But the conversations were just getting too crazy. He made a comment about gay people about a year ago, and I just kind of glossed over it. But when the conversations just have gotten so bizarre in recent time. The reason had a conversation, he hung up the phone on me. He got mad at me because I laughed. And like, okay, this nigga crazy. I just blocked him. I don't want to deal with crazy people. I'm just too old to be dealing with crazy people. And if you're a black person who voting Republican and you think these Republicans want the best for your black ass and your black family, you a goddamn fool. It is astonishing to me that these niggas actually think that. They're going to find out. If Donald Trump get reelected, be prepared. Y'all think this man playing, but he's not. He done showed you who he is. Y'all still supporting him over transgender stuff. I haven't heard the Republicans say anything that makes any sense to me, ever. All I've heard is hate. And they've been like that about the past 20 years. But who am I? I'm just a crazy man on the internet. Don't pay me no attention. Today is Wednesday, August 28th. The year is 2024. I wanted to have a conversation. Me and my mother, I've been having some conversation. I want to bring my mother back on here. I need to call her. Yesterday was a complete disaster, y'all. Yesterday, AT&T's network went out. My phone went dead around. I had so much shit planned, y'all, and my phone went to SOS. And I knew it had to be something wrong with the network, but I made the mistake of walking to AT&T saying, hey, y'all, my phone ain't working. And then the motherfuckers wasting all my damn time everybody trying to fix it instead of saying, hey, the network's now gone. Just wait till it corrects itself. But as I was sitting there, more and more customers were coming in. And I'm in the AT&T store at Linux Mall. More and more customers coming in. More and more people coming in. More and more people coming in. I'm like, okay, something wrong here. Y'all need to give me back my phone because y'all not gonna be able to fix this problem. And then I got to the gym. My workout partner, he's like, my phone's working. You must need a new phone. Take it over there to a Apple store. So I said, well, maybe run up there real quick. I went to the Apple store and they were like, there was 150 people in there waiting. Everybody was having problems with their phones. So at that point, I knew it was a network issue, but I went to one more AT&T store just to see again, and I sat there talking to these young folks, and they were looking at my phone. He was like, you about the 30th person that came here with a phone like this, so there's something going on with these phones. I said, okay. So I went on back to the gym and had my workout. But then around midnight, my phone came back to life. Y'all, when I tell you about 100 text messages rolled across that damn phone, I said, I got to go through these text messages today. It's a damn shame. Nothing I could do is about 100 text messages here. I'm gonna have to, there's nothing I could do. I'm gonna try to, what is this? I need to work on this stuff because, today's Wednesday. What is this? Okay, so I don't want to delete that. Anyway, let me out this phone. I already took the dogs out. Today is Wednesday, August 28th, the year 2000. I'm going to cook me some breakfast. I might do one more video about my mother because I want to just, Today is Wednesday, August 28th, the year 2024. I hope you all have a great Wednesday, and I'm out of here.